on YouTube. Let's get into chapter. I haven't got the chapter ready yet. Well, what happened last time before I figure out what chapter I'm reading? Benjamin just going around. He's dealt with Camilla. He's theoretically dealt with Tubeppa and Tyson. He very much thinks he's dealt with Tseridnik, but he very much hasn't. And yeah, and now he's like, the note we ended on was, well, one, explaining about Bohemian Rhapsody. And can I just comment how funny I think it is in hindsight that I read Bohemian Rhapsody and my mind didn't go to the Queen song. I mean, I know it's a Queen song, obviously. I love it. I listen to that song. It's a good song. But I'm just so, my brain is just so rotted with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure that I didn't think of the song. I thought of Bohemian Rhapsody from JoJo Part 6. And that was just so dumb of me. Like, I went on tangents, like, oh, what? How would these abilities interact? And, you know, I had someone in my comments, thank you if you're watching, saying, like, well, yeah, if you break down the lyrics of Bohemian Rhapsody, it lines up pretty well. Of course. Why didn't I think of that? I was thinking of Ungalo, the drug addict from Part 6 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, not the lyrics of the song being referenced. Some stupid backwards thinking on my part. Anyway, I am ready on chapter 418, Hypothesis. And this is a very cool looking first page. I love me some Tseridnik. I love me some ability explanations. Let's get Tseridnik narrating his ability, presumably as he experiences secondhand his face getting smashed in by Benjamin's boot. Benjamin's boot on his face. Enter Zetsu, then close my eyes. Or enter Zetsu while my eyes are closed. Either way, the ability activates. I see a vision up to 10 seconds into the future. While I'm seeing these 10 seconds, only an instant passes in reality. An ephemeral 10 seconds, but everyone around me perceives only as a blink of my eyes. Right after my 10-second vision, if I open my eyes, those 10 seconds I saw start playing out in real life. After a lot of testing, the rules I've confirmed so far are: 1. I can't change anyone else's situation from the foreseen future. Changing their location or posture is impossible. They continue as if they're wax figures, including their clothing and hair. I can't even play dirty, like slipping something into their clothing. Number 2, I can change the locations and states of objects, but I wasn't able to use anything to directly hurt, mess with, or doodle on anyone. I love it. I love it. He tested that. I can't take something someone was already holding, but I can get ahead of them and take something they were about to pick up. In that case, they continue acting as if they picked up that object. So, to get into light JoJo spoilers, again, Togashi clearly took some inspiration from JoJo's for this arc. This does feel very King Crimson, and this is the explanation, like this is the in-depth explanation that we really could have benefited from King Crimson, because there's some bits of it people think are plot holes, and there might be a couple scenes where it's a plot hole. But yeah, the interesting thing and the difference between how Tseridnik uses ephemeral 10 seconds and how the boss uses King Crimson is that Tseridnik has to stay still. Like, the thing is that makes King Crimson confusing is that Diavolo can. Oh, I was trying to hide spoilers there. The boss can move in those 10, like, you know, like if there's a confusing scene where someone gets put in a situation where they are very much dead, and then time is erased and people think, well, I thought the boss can't hurt people in that time, but I'm pretty sure the case is like he was going to hurt you in that time, and then he erased the time that he hurt you, but you still got hurt. And, that confuses people. I think an explanation like this, something Togashi's willing to do, but Araki's less willing to do, it helps clear stuff like that up. It's why you don't need to watch Ham on Beat videos to explain every little detail, or just spend ages reading it and rereading it like I have. Anyway, tangent over. I cannot afford to get into a tangent every page. This is Hunter x Hunter. Time, 2.92 seconds. Damn, I've hit a plateau and can't reduce the time any further. I tried to see if I could intentionally direct a sequence of events before I start the ephemeral 10 seconds to create a specific future I want to see. But it's just not working well. Yeah, to tap off my tangent, the difference is Tsuridnik can't do something in the original timeline that would still happen in the second timeline because he has to be standing still with his eyes closed, which makes it easier to really understand what's going on. Bring me some water from the fridge. Yes, sir, right away. So in the ephemeral 10 seconds, Salkov goes to the fridge, he gets the water, he gives it to Tsuridnik. End of the ephemeral 10 seconds. Yes, sir, right away. He takes the order, he goes to get the water, and then Tsuridnik walks away. Salkov, what? Oh, wait, no. Okay, no, he goes to get the water. Tsuridnik walks towards the fridge, getting the water before Salkov, drinking it. Salkov has an empty hand, gives it to Tsuridnik where he was standing. There was only one left in the fridge. I'll go get some more. And Tsuridnik looks on. He thinks he gave me the one bottle that was in the fridge. That means my ability is working normally, but when I try to put the line, get me some water, inside the ephemeral 10 seconds too, it doesn't work. No matter how hard I try to tell myself I'm going to tell Salkov to get me water and close my eyes, I don't see a future in which I say it. I guess that means there's a limit to how much I can bend the future to my will. So my ability has the restriction that it can only let me see what happens after something I've already done for real. Well, it's only level 1. I can't ask for much. I'm sure this is an ability that will expand the more I use it. Salkov still thinks I'm there after the ephemeral 10 seconds passes in reality. Okay, so that's interesting. So from Salkov's perspective, he isn't teleporting. From Salkov's perspective, Tsuridnik is still in the spot he was in. This is because I've maintained my Zetsu. Okay, this whole time. At one time, my Zetsu got interrupted by that Hunter Melody's ability. Without that, I might have been able to watch what Theta would have done, still thinking that she'd shot me. If I had kept my Zetsu, what would Theta have done? Well, no point in speculating now. He throws the bottle into the back of Salkov's head, and we get this beautiful close-up of Tsuridnik. Whether the door stays open or closed, as long as I continue in Zetsu, the guys in the living room, just like Salkov here, will keep thinking I'm in training. Whatever I do while I'm in Zetsu goes unnoticed. I need to figure out how far my ability goes. For now, I know for sure that all of room 1004 is under the ability's influence. I feel like the Nen Beast stands at the point where I activate the ability, like an antenna. It affects the spherical area around it with a radius of X. This is probably... Sorry, I forgot this is Hunter x Hunter. It affects the spherical area around it with a radius of... This is probably why the farther I get from the starting point, the more I get this horrible static in my ears, similar to bad reception. Okay. If I leave this area, I get too far from the Nen Beast, and the spell is broken. The ephemeral 10 seconds and the world that continues after it disappears. Oh, spell is broken. The ephemeral 10 seconds and the world that continues after it disappears and reverts back to reality. That's my current hypothesis. What are we seeing here? I need to zoom in on these little diagrams. So the first one, I assume it's meant to be Salkov looking at him. He's there, but he's moved. Viryomi is over there. So then, yeah, Salkov would notice if Tserednik left the area according to his hypothesis. If this is true, an outsider observer won't be affected by my ability. My power only works within this limited field of X. Okay, very interesting. What is X? The universe, by the looks of it. Well, I just need to use this power to change reality. I will become king and make the entire world mine. And we see beeping that seems to shock Tserednik. Special martial law has been declared. We're seeing this again. Special martial law has been declared. How many times have we seen special martial law be declared by now? Thank you, God. It's perfect. Not even, I'm changing his voice so much, but I think I've landed somewhere good now. Not even a sudden alarm disrupts my Zetsu. My Zetsu is unshakable by any unexpected outside stimulus besides pain. If I bump into something, I'll lose Zetsu. Using dissociation to I need to zoom in. Using dissociation to reduce my sensitivity to pain was incompatible with Zetsu. That means Zetsu is a technique that erases your presence while heightening all senses. Your Highness, I've mastered Zetsu's stability. Now all I need is speed. Dear God, I am grateful for myself. The First Prince's guards are demanding we open the door. If we don't respond, they'll force our way inside. Tserednik looks down. The tape? Oh, that's where he started. Okay, well, clever thing to do. Mark his starting point. Zetsu, release. Oh, okay. Leave them until they force their way in. But do as they say. Put all your weapons in one place and surrender. Keep your hands up and don't resist no matter what. Hurry! Yes, sir. Salkov. Sir? Give me your gun. Huh? Tserednik just looks off into the distance. Salkov's sweating, and Tserednik looks at him. I'm about to die, but tell everyone exactly what you saw. And we see Benjamin blasting. Tserednik looks on. Whoa! Whoa, I didn't even need to provoke him with this gun. I figured he'd rough me up a bit before... I figured he'd rough me up a bit more before finishing me off. And we see him squelching thin air, which is just a fun little image. And interesting that the sound, of course, is still there. Sheesh, I knew he hated me. He's in a hurry because he has to finish this whole thing and kill the rest of the princes now that he used the ace up his sleeve. That pisses me off. Spend more time on me, you idiot. Everything's moving along swimmingly. If I continue Zetsu in here, I'll stay dead. Everyone affected sees me with my head blown apart. But my Nen Beast uses my aura as fuel. While I'm in Zetsu, it consumes the aura it stored previously. Once that's spent, the Nen Beast loses its power and this field disappears. How long its battery lasts should be proportional to the time I spent outside of Zetsu. Say the Nen Beast charges with a time ratio of 11:1. That's what I've been using to balance my training and time spent testing things out. And if the Nen Beast started charging when I first noticed the ability, it'll last about another 3 hours and 48 minutes, give or take. It's not a good idea to linger here in Zetsu for too long. In fact, I should bail. I should bail ASAP. I thought that little dot by his eye was a full stop. I should bail ASAP. If that idiot realizes my death was faked, Salkov will be interrogated first at least. I doubt the order, "Don't open the casket," would fly during the succession battle. But as long as that idiot thinks he's killed me, nobody will try to open the casket. Once the casket is safely delivered to Dad, he'll understand this is my strategy. Maintain neutrality and refuse to publicly admit to anything. On the other hand, he won't cover for me if any prince tries to verify my death. After I deactivate the ability, people would be under the impression that I've been executed by that idiot for maybe a few days at most, an hour minimum. I can't afford to waste any time. Still, I'll have to move carefully. Once I leave the room and reach the limits of the antenna, my ability will be deactivated. If I run into any of my people or those idiots who think I'm dead, I'm done for. I'll have to anticipate their movements and avoid those routes. Okay, I feel like I'm not quite processing what I'm reading here. But yeah, I'm getting the idea. So yeah, he's saving up. So yeah. Maintain neutrality, refuse to publicly admit. Okay. So yeah, the time limit is if a prince wants to verify his death, and yeah, they'll check eventually. Okay. Oh yeah, I better prepare a will. I can't leave the coffin empty. I guess I can stuff it with some guns. I thought he was going to kill Salkov. Of course, you can't kill Salkov. The weight of the body, the smell of blood and guts. How could this be an illusion? And we see Tzadidnik just writing his will while they're carrying out his body. Yeah, I guess he filled it with guns between panels there. I desire no funeral, nor a posthumous naming ceremony, nor a send-off. I reject all viewing requests. My sole desire is for an honest, truly unified country. Signed, 4th Prince Tzadidnik of the Kakian Empire. The reason for no viewings is due to the inclusion of a clause in case he was killed by the first prince. What good foresight! What good foresight, Prince Tzadidnik. In that case, it was expected that the body would be mangled beyond recognition, and the casket will remain closed to preserve the dignity of the deceased. Hoo boy! It wouldn't have been pretty if the guys who brought in the casket had stayed. I thought I understood if my hypothesis was wrong, it would be fatal. I hadn't found out yet whether anyone who comes in from outside the ability after the ability activated would be brought under the spell. Better work on that too. Oh, okay. So he didn't fill the body bag with guns. He, filling the casket with guns. Good. I just love that. Tzadidnik just chucking guns in his own coffin, looking like a background character. Well, he's a background character in that panel, but totally unrecognizable. I would not have been able to tell you this is Tzadidnik if you showed me this panel last week. He loved his country and chose a difficult path for the benefit of its people. We must respect the wishes of a prince and let him go in peace. Wasn't there something you could have done to save him? If only you had shielded him with your own body. I'm having a hard time zooming properly. There we go. If only you had shielded him with your own body, things could have gone differently. Isn't that right, Salkov? Tzadidnik's just looking on. Don't be insane. First Prince Benjamin would just have one less round, maybe one more body to deal with. With all due respect, who is he promoting himself to? This bastard. Where were you when it all went down? Careless conduct during martial law is prohibited, as it could present the subject to unnecessary danger. Furthermore, the first prince fired his weapon right after entering the room, meaning it was impossible to respond. That's not what I'm saying. What else is there? You just want to pick a fight. We see Tadnik just start blasting. I guess he's killing this guy who I don't remember the name of, unfortunately. Oh, he's blamming. Okay, my eyes have skipped ahead to the next panel to see that he's just got the bullets on his face. We need to focus on fulfilling our duty in the Royal Army. That's what Fourth Prince Serednich wanted us to do. You sure got over him quickly. I hope you'll find some other petty official you can kiss up to. And the shells hit the ground, but the bullets are still flat against this guy's forehead. Knock it off. We permitted talking about the will only. I'll arrest you all for sedition. Shut up. Disgraceful, Captain Van Tane. Want to switch with Salkov? Okay, so want to switch with Salkov. Not sure what he means there. Hopefully we figure that out by the end. We've checked everyone in room 1004. They all matched the roster. Good, get over here. We see Theta being walked down the hall. I couldn't remember if we've seen her recently to see if like her face is healed up. I feel like maybe we have. But either way, it's nice to see her face is back to normal. You're permitted to move freely within room 1004 only. All firearms and items designated as dangerous instruments will be confiscated. If the entrance door opens from the inside without a signal knock, it will be regarded as an attack, and a mop-up operation will commence. Respecting the Fourth Prince's wishes, his body will remain here until 6 a.m. tomorrow, and the wake will serve to replace the funeral. In accordance to the will, the transfer of the coffin will be done by Salkov only. The restrictions mean I can't steal hats or clothes off the Royal Army either. I'll have to hide my face and bust my way out. If anyone sees my face out there, they'll check the casket. I'll have to make it look like some random thug went rogue and escaped. So he's sitting in his room with a bunch of guns. Does he just have these lying around? Oh, sorry. Yeah, well, all dangerous instruments will be confiscated. So yeah, these are the confiscated weapons. Oh boy, another page of descriptions. I can't believe this is what we're doing with Serednik right now, but we've got him dressed up like this. I mean, it's cool. It's cool. It's just not where I thought we were going. Ready. The Royal Army will take the confiscated weapons to the Central Justice Bureau on Tier 2. That bird brain is probably on his way there to make it the seat of his military and political power. There's no going back now that martial law has been declared. He'll press on until the rest of the princes are killed. He killed me quickly, without much provocation, so he must be short on time for some reason. He'll take the shortest route to Tier 2. It's reassuring to know that Togashi does in fact spell Benjamin's name beginning with a B, because, I mean, frankly, we've seen enough ridiculous names in this series where I wouldn't be surprised if it started with literally any letter of the alphabet, but at least he's drawing a B on his face here. Okay, and we're seeing a little diagram of a black whale. Usually when we move below Tier 2, we can use passages A, B, or C. Soldiers and mafia heads use B, and royals and VVIPs use A. General passengers use C. The only way for general passengers to enter the Justice Bureau is through the central entrance on Tier 3. But royals and VVIPs have a separate entrance on Tier 2. There are separate entrances and passages for royals for all public facilities, and it's designed so that A is the shortest route. Entrance A is the ideal way for the military to secretly take over the Justice Bureau. But considering what must be done after declaring martial law, it's definitely faster to move a big group through C toward the central entrance and proceed from there. I'm sure that bird brain is heading to Tier 3 with his men and Royal Army through Route C right now. Route B will have quite a bit of firepower deployed to wipe out the Mafia. Cha and GU heads are probably detained already, as the Mafia exclusive back routes will be closed. That's the route the Royal Army is most wary of, so I'm only left with A. Theta, don't. Oh, is this Salkov? It was in the prince's will. If you break it, that'll be your second time. Theta's trying to... Okay, Theta's going to try and open the casket. Clearly, she's not convinced by this whole sequence of events, but denying another order from the prince, even through the will, yeah, it'll probably cause her to be no longer human. Is that the phrasing that was used? I advise against it, Theta dear. The only thing you'll see while my ability is activated is my guts. Something seems to surprise Tsarivnik. Theta's face, first time we're seeing it properly this chapter. Yeah, okay, she seems to be looking straight at Tsarivnik. Can she see me? No, that's not possible. I love how we've already had several panels with this, like, yeah. Togashi's already, like, adopted in these, like, 4 pages the spectacles as a little symbol of Tsarivnik. We've got it as the background for when he's discussing the routes. We've got that as a little shocked panel, and we've got it here. Can she see me? No, that's not possible. Yeah, I thought so. That made me nervous for a second. Theta dear. You might be the only one who could sweep me off my Zetsu. Oh, look, I'm a masochist after all. Getting the cold shoulder is kind of hot. Better get along. Time to start this escape adventure. First things first. Wow, what is this chapter? What is this chapter? It's just, we've got undercover thug Tsarivnik. Okay. Yeah, I really thought that the whole Tsarivnik side of things was going to be shrouded in mystery, and we'd stay with Benjamin's point of view. But no, I mean, I guess, we could return to Benjamin next chapter. This is 418, right? So we only have 2 more. Oh, God. Oh, no, I'm not ready to say goodbye. I'm not ready to say goodbye. But yeah, we could go back to Benjamin. I have a feeling we're going to go back to Karapika by the end. So maybe 1 more chapter of Tsarivnik, and then 1 chapter of Karapika, or at the very least, the last page or so of Karapika. Yeah, well, this is interesting. Yeah, this is... I never would have predicted this is where we were going. This is fascinating. I'm trying to think of where everyone is right now. So Karapika is stuck in his room, right? And when Benjamin dies... Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of if this leads into any confrontation between Tsarivnik and Karapika, which, of course, I'd love to see, and I know is going to happen eventually. But the way things are lined up, I don't know if that's happening right now. And, of course, if anyone sees Tsarivnik, maybe they'll report a thug. They're not going to report, oh, it's Tsarivnik. So Karapika's probably not going to come running. Yeah. Great chapter. Really liked this. And yeah, getting more reminders on how ephemeral 10 seconds works, because it's very important here. Oh, this is great. Like ephemeral 10 seconds has got to be like one of my favorite Nen abilities. Probably one of my favorite abilities in fiction. I probably still prefer King Crimson because it comes with one of my favorite stand designs in all of JoJo. But yeah, it is such a good ability. Yeah, Great Cyrenik chapter. We got to see him as a zealot thanking God for giving him the perfect opportunity and for granting him the universe. And we also got him sneaking around with a hoodie and face mask. This is the duality of Cyrenik chapter. Oh, great. I think I'm ready to move on to One Piece. And this is one of the rare weeks